The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, the government shuns questions about Eric Gardner. We have the latest. A security agent fired from the Bimini International Airport today for reportedly insisting that the Prime Minister go through her security checkpoint. And later tonight, one man says if the government's progress message is meant to be felt and make a difference, there must be a shake-up at the Public Hospitals Authority. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. For the first time since his shocking arrest in the United States, Bahamian officials have been granted access to accused drug trafficker Jonathan Eric Gardner. The case has rocked the nation as the details ballooned to government and provides insight in long-term investigation. Linton Ritchie Jr. has the story, and then we come back and
Government
talk about
has now made contact with accused international drug trafficker Jonathan Eric Gardner, who went from plane crash survivor to inmate in the United States. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirming Monday that Bahamian consular officials were granted access to Gardner on May 26, marking the first confirmed meeting between Bahamian representatives and the convicted U.S. felon since his return to federal custody. However, officials are revealing very little about what transpired during that visit. In a statement, the ministry said that due to privacy considerations, no further details could be disclosed at this time. The development comes as questions continue to swirl around allegations contained in a U.S. federal affidavit which claims Gardner, with the assistance of a Bahamian politician identified only as, quote, politician number one, helped facilitate the movement of large quantities of cocaine through the Bahamas. Reporters again sought answers from Prime Minister Philip Davis on the matter.
Hi, Prime Minister. Any concern over the questions still surrounding?
She's late, guys. She's late, guys.
So what was the Eric Gardner?
Davis, however, offered no comment. Gardner is back in U.S. federal custody after surviving a plane crash on Election Day, May 12th. Following the crash, he was detained by U.S. authorities who are pursuing drug trafficking charges against him in New York. The matter has attracted significant attention in the Bahamas, particularly as questions remain about the identity of, quote, politician number one and whether any local officials will address the allegations publicly. The issue has also generated scrutiny over reported business ties between Gardner and government projects, including contracts awarded to top-notch builders, the company responsible for 8 Mile Rock Government Complex and the Carmichael Village Affordable Housing Development. For now, the only new official confirmation is that Bahamian consular officials have seen Gardner in U.S. custody, but what was discussed and what information was shared remains unknown. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, again, of course, we don't know much about that visit by Foreign Affairs officials to Gardner there in the United States, and we won't try and speculate any, but certainly something that was mentioned in that story, something that has one Bahamian lawmaker in particular sort of facing the music, and that is top-notch builders. We addressed that on Friday's show. You heard F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands calling on behalf of the Free National Movement for Michael Halkitis, the Minister of Finance, to resign based on his previous relationship and positions he may have served in top-notch builders some years ago. We are going to jump in right there this evening because, again, that continues to trend. It continues to be an issue. It continues to be mentioned and brought up. I want to welcome to Beyond the Headlines this evening the Beyond the Headlines contributors. Good evening to each of you. Leslie Miller, Ellington Ferguson, Howard Johnson. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening, colleagues. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, colleagues. Good evening, Bahamas.
Howard, let's jump in with you. Michael Alkitis has been really squeezed for the last week, I would say, if that. Certainly with protests and any number of activities pointing him out as somebody who is perhaps need to be questioned under the microscope for his having served in a position or provided services for top-notch builders some years ago. Your thoughts on how this is unfolding? We heard it mentioned in the story just a moment ago, but just how this is unfolding and where Halkitis finds himself tonight.
Yeah, Shanique, so I saw a post from Mr. Halkitis over the weekend, and I could see in the picture that he put up of himself that this has caused some pain and some consternation to him. I've always known him in the political circles. I've never met him before, but I have always known him, even though I was previously on a different political side, known him to be an individual who was upstanding and of good integrity and good character. Of course, I don't see anything wrong with a gentleman having gainful employment. Top-Notch Builders was a legally constituted, or is a legally constituted business in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, from what I understand. And prior to him engaging back into political life, Mr. Halkitis was a private citizen, which allowed him to use his skills and his talents to secure gainful employment. Now, from what I understand, the issue that's caused controversy has been the fact that Mr. Halkitis has said that he was merely a consultant and a director, but records have shown that he was also the president of the company. Mm-hmm. And so that right there would have been, in my estimation, where there was cause for some controversy. But as far as Mr. Halkitis being gainfully employed by Top-Notch Builders, if the principal himself happened to be a criminal or have some past legal issues, that has nothing to do with Mr. Halkitis' skill set and his professional talent in being gainfully employed.
Ellington, you heard Howard a minute ago. Michael Alkitis could have acted in the capacity of president of this company. Does that paint him does it paint him in the negative light that it is now? Is that warranted? Calls for resignation, the fact that there are huge question marks over his head?
Shanique, I think you would have to look more deeper into this and find out some things because to start with, we're a small country and a number of persons that was in any leadership in any company at some point would end up in politics. The question is, was that company that was duly licensed and established in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, were the Bahamas government aware that this company was involved in any nefarious activities when Minister Michael Alkitis accepted that responsibility? Was he aware that there was involvement in nefarious activities by the principals or other persons that was in some leadership or ownership of this company? Those are questions that we must look into. But other than that, someone working in a private company and you come out in government and you find out later that that company was involved in something that you were not aware of, I don't see at this point that where that's called for. But yes, if it needs to be looked into, was he aware of these things? Was he aware of this individual's involvement in drug trafficking?
Leslie, you followed up since our show on Friday. You heard me look at some documents and read them live on air.
Yes.
But you have followed up further on it.
Mm-hmm.
Please do share with us some of the things you've discovered.
You know, it's interesting, all the commotion that's out there in the public forum by the doctor and also the man in charge of the F&M. It should interest me to know that Top-Notch Builders were incorporated on the 30th day of December 2020. One thing we need to remember, the first case of COVID in the Bahamas was in March of 2020. 2020. Lockdown started in April and May of 2020. Okay? And the heaviest lockdown was in August of 2020. All right? During this period, no one was working at that time. This lady, Ms. Bowendo's former company, Michael Alkitis, was a well-known analyst in the Bahamas, a financial analyst. He accepted the position of doing some business with them, assisting them getting the company started, saying how you set up a company, what the regulators expect you to do, et cetera, et cetera. The most important thing in setting up a company is who are the shareholders? Who owns the company? Who calls the shots? All companies are formed with 5,000 shares, $1 each, that's $5,000. At that time when that company was set up, a man called Samson Heel, a businessman, controlled 4,999 of those shares. Mike Halkitis never had the shares in the company in his life. He's never a shareholder. Okay? Then, in 2022, okay? In 2021, top-notch builders again. Okay? Mr. Heel, again, controlled those shares. In 2021, again, curfews were in place, on travel exemptions through the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We couldn't move, if you remember. They're locking up fellas for selling coconut. Okay? Now, what is interesting, during the same time, prominent foreigners, white foreigners, was allowed to bring their dogs into the Bahamas, dead dogs, to be buried. Yes.
Leslie, not to be brought in.
They brought the dogs in that was dead.
No, the dog was dead. Their dog that was in life acute died, and the people came in to have the burial for their dog.
Had a burial for the dog. Okay? They were allowed to come in. Mr. Sands was then fired by the Prime Minister, Mr. Minnis, Dr. Minnis. Fired. Another situation came up, as we all remembered, in a case involving this lady who had a contract for the cleaning of the hospital. Where it went to court, they were trying to subject 2 or 3 Bahamians who were members of Parliament for the Progressive Party with the hope of sending them to jail. The judge scolded him that you set this whole thing up, you and this lady, to try to infringe on the rights of a member of Parliament. That happened under his watch. The leader of the opposition, at the same time, during that time, just a few years before, was fired as a senator in a hire for murder case, a plot to kill someone.
Leslie.
And no, that's a fact.
Yes.
That cannot be denied.
Yeah.
But here are these men saying that all of these things happened. Michael Keatis was never, ever a shareholder in those companies.
Did he serve as president of the company at any point?
When you hear this word president, Ms. Bogue formed the company. He was the top financial mind. They just put someone there to be president. You form a company. You say you're president. I'm the president of several companies. I don't own any shares. But when the company was formed, they know Leslie Miller. And he put up on the application, put it for me, said, well, let's put the one who people know. So you put Michael Keatis. Everybody knows who Michael Keatis is.
Based on everything that you've rolled out here tonight, it seems as though he served in that capacity for a year?
For 1 year.
Before being appointed to the Senate?
Yes.
Leslie...
It is amazing what these fellas will go to, the extent to go to try to cry up the reputation of a decent young man who has a family who has done well for our country over the years.
Have you spoken with Michael Halkitis? I've been unsuccessful. I want to know, have you been able to speak with him?
I've known Mike for almost 20 years now. Always admired him from the time he ran in politics and we were in cabinet together when he was a junior minister. A well-liked person, a person with a learned mind that everybody respects. The Prime Minister respects him totally and absolutely to run the Ministry of Finance. But, these fellas are grappling for straws. The man never held one share in this company. He was never the decision maker of this company.
And this obviously was a legally established company in the Bahamas.
It was a legally established company. But he never held a share.
Yeah.
But yet you're saying, because it appears he's the president. Michael Cooper became the president and director in 2021, December 2021. He was there for 1 year. and things changed. And during that time, COVID was there. Don't forget, we were all locked down with COVID. So this company they're talking about was inactive at that time because no construction going on in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Now, you insisted since Friday, and I imagine you maintained that this evening, that
Yes.
there is no legitimate reason for Michael Halkitis to be fired or to step down from his position as Minister of Finance.
What has he done to do so? Tell me. What has he done?
Ellington and Howard,
Mr. Heal is still the major shareholder in the company. What has he done?
To this day.
He still holds 199 shares.
Yes.
What has he done?
I don't think that there is anything untoward that rises to the standard of Mr. Halkitis resigning. However, I understand in the competitive blood sport that is Bahamian politics why Dr. Sands and Mr. Pintard are calling for his resignation. That's par for the course. That's par for the course in politics. In the past, people have called for Mr. Pintard's resignation. They've called for Dr. Sands' resignation. And they're going to call for Mr. Halkitis' resignation. Man, listen, if you are elected, the way that politics has devolved in our country and is characterized now by nastiness, vitriol, and disrespect, man, if you pee too long on the side of the road and you elected the office, somebody wants you to resign.
Yes.
We are getting to a terrible place. So I don't think it reaches that standard, but I can understand why in politics, in our nasty, divisive politics that exist today, there are calls for his resignation.
That is the reason why I told the Bahamian people over and over again, if it's one politician I'm afraid of, and I've been around long, Lyndon Pidlin, Hubert Ingram, Perry Christie, Menace, Philip Brave Davis, is my cousin Pintard. There's something in him that he'd take your heart out of your body.
Leslie?
And you don't think twice about it. It bothers me. It doesn't matter if you ruin the reputation of a decent man who can make a contribution, making a contribution to our country. You don't care about that. You want to bring him down. This man has a family and 2 kids in university, you know.
So as it stands right now, of course, Bahamians are still awaiting more information. But as I said, after the
Information
show,
on what?
No, just about this case in its entirety. And then politician number 1, Howard. I'm sure you haven't been on the show.
Sure, isn't Michael Keatis.
You haven't been on the show in a while, Howard.
That's
been a trending thing.
That's
politician number 1.
it ain't Michael Keatis.
But listen, no, it seems as though his whole role in this is the fact that he served as president.
That's it.
At some point for a year. Listen, when we come back, is the PLP victimizing? Or was this an overzealous security officer at the Bimini International Airport? Beyond the Headlines is back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel. And I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Luckily, it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. It's big enough now to handle your big loads, you know. Yeah, like you can put on your blanket. But just look at us. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, presses you, and entertains you 24/7.
Did you know that when you shop at cbsbahamas.com, you can see directly into our vendors' warehouses? What that means is even if we only have a dozen of an item available in store, you can order virtually as many as you want directly from our vendors and have it delivered to your doorstep in just 10 to 14 days. You don't have to worry about shipping, imports, duties, or any of the hard stuff. Our back order program is unique, and it's only at cbsbahamas.com.
Some days, the house doesn't just feel like a mess. It feels like a circus. When you can't control the chaos, you can at least control the scent. Escape to your happy place with the 2 times concentrated power and irresistible scent of Pin Island. Okay, maybe the peace and quiet was a dream, but at least the house smells like a win. Pin Island, 2 times the cleaning power, 2 times the scent. For those days you needed.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's great to have you all tuned in. Let's get into this story. By the way, someone, and thank you very much, viewer, Shanique, Minister Alcides, as president and director, is an officer of the company, not an employee. Of course, we know that he said he resigned from that company in 2021 before going on to become a senator. So let's move on. A female voter in Bimini who admits to supporting the Free National Movement is claiming that she's been victimized by the PLP effective today, June 1st. She's been fired from her job. The woman, Carlisha Bain, a grade 2 security officer at the Bimini International Airport, said she encountered Prime Minister Davis and his entourage at the airport. She said she was following the rules and procedures of her job and told the Prime Minister and the government ministers with him that they required security procedures and what they allowed. Carlisha said she was not rude, she wasn't confrontational, and in her words, I wasn't making a scene. She said she was simply doing her job. Carlisha said they didn't correct her. This is what she said. She said, she maybe this should have happened. Instead of just going and firing her as she was fired today, here's what should have happened. There's Carlisha right there. Carlisha said that her superiors didn't correct her. No. They could have retrained her or even just suspend her. But instead, they fired her. Well, you all, the story continues. Here is Cindy Thompson, Carlisha's reportedly her co-worker. And I will read this in its entirety. You aren't telling the truth, Carlisha. And because you are against the PLP, you're making it seem as if you were a victim of corruption. You and I worked that shift together. And you know you wasn't pleasant to Davis or his ministers. You were in a back and forth with the ministers, and it was uncalled for. You said you didn't care who Brave was, and you were being very biased because of political views. I am an F&M supporter, and I do not support the corrupt PLP, but you are lying. You are not victimized. Be careful what you post. All the best to you. Gentlemen, before I get your response to this, and I wanted to bring it because see, when we play clown games, we the only ones, the average Bahamian who get screwed in the process.
She's victim number
right? One. So what is the procedure when it comes to, she is victimized, the first person to be victimized, she says in this administration, victimized number one. But here you all, here's what happens. Heads of state and government leaders such as presidents, prime ministers, kings, queens, typically do not go through the standard passenger security screening like ordinary travelers. Instead, they usually receive special security arrangements that may include separate VIP terminals or lounges, advanced security sweeps of aircraft and facilities, screening of luggage and belongings by their security teams, protection and clearance coordinated between the leader's security, detail, and airport authorities, use of government or military aircraft, which often operate under different security protocols. For example, leaders like Donald Trump or members of the British royal family generally do not stand in regular security lines. That said, they are not exempt from security altogether. Security checks still occur, but they are usually conducted through specialized procedures handled by government security agencies rather than airport screening officers at public checkpoints. Of course, they go on to say former leaders and ministers and diplomats as well are given the same benefits. You all, let's just talk about this, though. Let's talk about, Howard mentioned the vitriol and the tribalism of politics in the Bahamas. But we too, as ordinary citizens, could get caught up in it and end up paying for it. Here's a lady who her co-worker came and said, listen, no, your story don't go like you're saying. Lying. Your story is we watch you, and I'm an F&M, but we watch you be rude and dismissive and did exactly as you did and called the Prime Minister back, I imagine she would be saying, no, sir, you got to take this jacket off.
Got a lot of
take
tips,
that jacket off and put it on the who knows what she did.
And
I just had to say that, Leslie, before it calls me. Gentlemen, your thoughts though, your thoughts about this.
I think we've got to understand something in this country, and I've been observing a lot of it. People do not understand the purpose of our political parties and electioneering. Okay? Once we have come to a general election, you support your party, you try to get your party to win, and you go out and you do whatever you have to do to get your party to win. Okay, we are all Bahamians. After the general election, the group that was selected by the majority of Bahamian, that's the group that is going to govern us and lead our affairs over the next 5 years. Immediately, the day after the general election, we are all Bahamian. Stop this PLP and FNM foolishness. You put down those colors and we all working for the better of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That, my lady, you were still out there campaigning. That was the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Unless if you just start your job today, I would agree with you what you say about the training. Somebody just put you in there. I'm sure you've not been there. I'm sure the Prime Minister and the ministers have traveled all of these islands back and forth over and over before. And like your friend, for me, your friend summed it up for you. And that's good enough for me. Go home, go find another job somewhere else. You're not fit to work in that capacity.
Yeah, Shanique, and the thing is, we have to stop viewing the world through these politically jaundiced eyes in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. When you open your eyes and all you see is black, yellow, or red, we have a serious problem. Politics in the Bahamas is evolving to a place where it is stronger than our religious beliefs. It is stronger than, obviously, our employment. It is stronger than our family ties and our friendship ties. We are letting this thing create too much division in our country. Now, this young lady said, post-event, she said, well, I should have been corrected and I should have been retrained. But miss, you have that job because you were trained. You were trained to secure that job, or after you secured that job, you had a level of training that got you cemented into the position that you have. So you knew what the rules are. You knew what the standards and the protocols are for diplomats and VIPs like the Prime Minister and cabinet ministers. But if you were out there on that tarmac or in that airport trying to prove a political point, now your politics being stronger than your employment, the security of your employment, now has you unemployed. Because the Prime Minister of the Bahamas and his cabinet ministers didn't fly into Bimini saying, we can see who we can cause to get fired today. I'm sure that was not prominent on their mind or on their mind at all when they flew in. We can see who we can get fired today. That makes no sense. So, young lady, I hope this is a cautionary tale for you. And you understand that sometimes when you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Stupid prizes.
Do you know how despicable it is for a Prime Minister and his cabinet members to be put through that embarrassment? And I'm sure on her mind she was saying, you know, what should I do to this crew? They think they bad, let me show them who in charge. And people like them, when they go home, they brag to the friends. Child, you know what I did with him? I sent his ass right back through. How many boys? Go back through again. Go back through again. They like that. It happened to me a couple of times. I don't tell you what I tell them, you know. But they do that. They try to embarrass you, to humiliate you. You took it too far. Go look for a job. Hurry.
I tell you, yeah, it's unfortunate that she is without a job tonight.
It ain't unfortunate.
It's not unfortunate, huh? But no better, because even if it were Michael Pintard, that should not have happened. You should know that he is a public figure. He is the leader of the country, the official opposition. Let us all stop being stupid. That's right there, Shanique. Stop being stupid. Stop being stupid. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you about this though. The BM people are waiting for answers here. The long scrutinized Bahamas Public Beaches and Parks Authority under the spotlight again tonight. for reportedly exceeding its government-issued budget. A similar concern was expressed following the Minnis administration's 2017 to 2021 term. According to Minister of Finance Alcides, an audit of the authority's spending began in 2024 and is expected to be presented to Parliament soon.
Several years were completed, and the undertaking is to continue on that process. I spoke yesterday about the fact that we are requiring much more stringent reporting from government departments and agencies, including annual reports, financial plans, etc., because that is part of our effort to, improve and increase transparency. And so our view is that statutory bodies that are required to have financial statements, that they're done within the required time, and we do away with this issue where we have statutory bodies with multiple years of outstanding financial statements.
Alcides emphasized that the government's mission going forward is to prioritize strict reporting from government departments and agencies to improve public transparency.
We have completed, or they were completed just some weeks ago. I'm not sure if they have been laid as yet. Audited financial statements, I think going back up to 2024. All right, they had, I think there was maybe about 5 or 6 years, if I recall correctly, that had not been done. And so they were recently completed, and I expect that audited financial statements for 2025 will be done, and the same for 2026. And going forward, we don't have this lag where you have multiple years of outstanding financial statements. So I can say we undertook to get those financial statements. They should be laid in the House. Now, I wasn't in the House last time, so I can't say definitively whether they were laid before it was dissolved last time.
Well, gentlemen, I know many people are happy to hear that there's going to be just more accountability and transparency as it relates to Beaches and Park or any government agency. But this one in particular is this not the first time there's been talk about its budget or how that budget looks or exceeding the budget. It's one of those, I guess, agencies where it's a lot of work. It really lifts a great share of the work in terms of cleanups and various the low-hanging fruit for the larger ministries.
Yeah, but with the greatest respect, though,
yes,
the Bahamian people still ain't satisfied. You know, the woman taking out $25 million to feed black Bahamians during COVID, and they ain't give no full account yet. But that's fine, though. That's fine for her.
Leslie, nothing was done. Nothing was.
I said a full account to the Bahamian people was never given.
You're talking about the feeding program.
Yes, the feeding program. Huh?
But again, and this is what we're saying, all of these, it's not just Beaches and Park, which is roughly now 10 years old. It is not just that agency. It's I guess, accountability and transparency in many government initiatives.
Yes.
Any response? You
I
guys?
think, Shanique, I have known Michael Alcides for some time. I've had occasion to even work with him. And he's a very shrewd financial man, and he has a very strong financial mind. He knows his work. He knows what he's doing. People who were trying to get things done would have normally referred to him as shy or hesitant. No, he's not quick to just dump money out like that.
That's
so
for sure.
I know that about him. He's very shrewd in his business dealings. So I think the country's in good hands with Michael Alcides, and I'm happy that he's what they're doing, what they're putting in place to hold these various ministries accountable. And I think the Prime Minister, who has no portfolio, he's going to be overseeing things to make sure that these people don't just run amok in these various ministries, and that can rein in some of the spending.
Shanique, I'm really happy to hear the language that Minister Alcides was using in that clip that we see there, because as custodians and stewards of the people's finances, you have to make sure that you're doing things right. I went to great pains to look at and see some of the things that I felt like the PLP, as the government of the Bahamas, dropped the ball on in the last several months. In the campaign, and even most recently, the thing that happened with Sabaz on nomination day, well, the PLP party, you dropped the ball. With Miss Leslie Miller Bryce and Mr. Sabaz,
Yes,
the other day, You know, Mr. Davis, that you are going to make these people cabinet ministers. Why don't you have all of these things sorted out and acknowledged and in the public sphere before you put these people through all of this stuff, all of this salacious stuff out there in the public domain? Come on, man. Let's take a proactive approach and let's be efficient and effective with the people's business. Audits, all of these financial plans and things that Mr. Halkitis are talking about, we need to be more punctual, more efficient, and more quick on the draw with the release of these things to the public, because it is the public's finances you are dealing with. We can't say, well, we win, so you all must shut up. We is the government, so you all... No. We ain't taking that approach.
Give an account,
you
full account.
are custodians of the people's finances.
Yes. Leslie, your thoughts, or you're done? Okay,
I don't think we discuss Mike anymore because the man is doing his job.
It's not Michael. It's not him. It's beaches and parks and this audit that's pending, and that's going to be tabled. But that's fine. We all happy with that and happy to hear
Don't
it.
forget, there's still a lady before the courts now from beaches and parks in the F&M administration. You know, you always forget. You know,
I did forget. Who's
still
that?
before the court?
What, Leslie?
The lady who had over $1 million in her bank account. You all forget it. That's still betting. You probably hear about it no more.
Leslie, you can't just drop something halfway
it's
like that.
She know who she is and they know who she is.
No, I know who she. That's
okay.
good. And don't call her name. I'm just saying.
I said still there pending.
Remind us. If you all remember.
I don't even remember her name. I know the damn money is there. She ain't give me none, you know. I damn broke.
Leslie, stop. You stop it right there. Because you ain't never see a broke day in your life in the last 80 years.
Oh, yeah?
Listen.
God, still but I get 30 million. I get the first down penny.
Yeah, Leslie, what about this 30 million
that
that they say the PLP...
Leslie, number 5 million, man.
I mean, listen, what about this 30 million, Leslie?
Show you, boy.
Listen.
Me like that, Leslie. Number 5 million.
What is the saying?
People believe that, you know.
No, but Leslie, but you have never come and explained it about the 30. You have never...
Woman called me yesterday. No, you think come something? I say, like what? Just something. I said, what, 10,000.
Fixable system, man.
From that money what you get from the government.
Fixable sister, Leslie.
I have suffered for 16 years of my life. From 2013, when we went to Parliament to get those leases approved. And I'm still right back where I was before.
I don't
get me angry,
but you never, and I know you were angry, so you didn't speak to it, and I didn't push it because I don't know about it, but I know it's to do with a ruling that happened well over 10 years ago, that the government, meaning any government, the government,
the PLP government stated that the government was at fault.
Was to pay you, and I don't think they have done, and this is where all this anyway.
Listen, that ain't happened in my lifetime. Okay? Not in my lifetime. Maybe when I come back. But they ain't give me nothing this trip.
Before we go to the
right.
Before we go to the break, you all give me this, please. Give me this for a second. It's just 8:40. Sebastian, you guys, the newly elected member of Parliament of Port Charlotte, was out and about in his constituency this weekend. He was there to say thank you to his constituents and give them a gift. Listen, Sebastian raising the whole bar when it comes to representation. He also gave them this gift and expressed his gratitude, rather.
So we back on the ground today, back in one of our polling divisions, and just going door to door, just meet with the residents, give them a personal vote of thanks, and continue our representation just as we promised. Find out if there are any concerns in the area, and keep our work going. Port Charlotte, we still going higher.
Gentlemen, I'll tell you, so I had to mention that tonight because all weekend everyone was saying, listen, wear their Dior bag. Like, come on now, Sebastian, you gotta spread this little wider than beyond Port Charlotte. But gentlemen, your thoughts about how Sebastian is raising the bar. A newcomer to frontline politics, I imagine politics in general. I don't know his history, but certainly a newcomer, elected, successful at the polls, and is doing some things that many have not and are not doing. And I imagine his stepping up like this is going to almost force others to step up.
I said this prior to the election, Shanique. Sebastian is bringing who he is into politics. And I said that you're going to see the dynamics of politics. He's going to be a trendsetter, a trailblazer. He's going to change how we do politics. And from the after election, he's continued to be engaged in the community, touching people every single day, even before this event that you're referring to. So yes, he's raising the bar.
Well, Shanique, I know if he's raising the bar, but the stuff that he's doing, everybody can do. So some of these MPs might need to go to the bar. They might need to go in the bar and get a couple of drinks. Think of everybody can do it like Sabah. I'm recommending to some of the MPs, right? Here's what y'all need to do. When it comes time for Mother's Day and all of these gift-giving opportunities, have your disclaimer. I am not Sabah's. Just make sure you put that in big print so they could know you can't do it like Sabah.
Say I am not MP number one.
Listen, one thing is good. People make sure that the $150,000 that they get for their constituents, they will spend that on their constituents.
You bet right.
And then
that's for sure.
Because I'll tell you
this, which is a good thing.
He already has, in a very unique, beautiful way. And listen, the man ain't paying me at all to say this. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is this. I see he already has Happy Father's Day around his constituency.
The pressure tall.
Listen, pressure tall. And so sorry, y'all. And I understand because another viewer say, listen, Sabas has money. Yes, he does. But I can tell you this, pressure tall.
But they got 150,000.
And you all have 150,000 and we can be watching. That's all I'm saying.
Keep your crab and rice. I live in Fort Charlotte. Happy Father's Day.
When we come back, we are going to take a look, I mean a very stern look, at the Princess Margaret Hospital and the operations there. Beyond the Headlines is back after this.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Well, you all been paying attention last week and you saw this story. Managing Director of the Public Hospitals Authority, Dr. Auburnett Roll, is responding to complaints from patients at the Princess Margaret Hospital who claimed they were unable to access timely care due to the absence of registration staff. Several individuals seeking medical attention reported that efforts to locate intake personnel were unsuccessful, while clinical staff were unable to formally process patients without confirmed registration. Here is Roll speaking to the issue.
Well, first of all, I'd like to apologize to the Bahamian public for the delay and the absence of persons in that particular spot. The complaint was lodged and I had an opportunity to make inquiry into it, and it's indeed so that persons weren't there. We did have persons who were assigned. Unfortunately, one of them had a death in the family, and the other one, the team members are dealing with the individual as to the reasoning. Like I said, I want to assure the public that persons are assigned, but also the leads are reminding individuals that should they have challenges that permit them from coming to their regular scheduled shifts, to ensure in accordance to our industrial agreements that proper notice is given, which allows us now to try to fill the spot to be able to accommodate the patients. So since then, they've been working on that to ensure, but also to ensure that the information is transferred in a timely manner so that we could meet the demands. But once again, I wish to apologize to the public and also for bringing that to our attention as well.
Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, Richard Johnson. Richard is a pundit, a regular here on the show, but of course known for speaking his views on a daily basis on any number of issues. Richard Johnson of Facts and Issues, thank you very much for being here. It's great to have you here.
It's good to be here, Shanique. I haven't been here in a while. It's good to be here.
No, you haven't been here in a while.
I'm busy seeking the election.
Yeah, that's what you were doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Richard, but you said, it's fine, you put it out there. You said you were busy trying to help with an election. But you said, listen, this administration campaigned heavily on progress.
Right.
On progress even in healthcare, and we know that's super important, particularly in the public healthcare sector. But if they don't make some changes now at PMH and the way it's operated, even at PHA, they will flop.
Right.
Let's talk about that.
So let me say this from the onset, Shanique. I don't speak on behalf of the government of the Bahamas. I have no power, no jurisdiction, no authority to speak on behalf of the government of the Bahamas. I speak as Richard Johnson in that vein, but as a Bahamian citizen, as a taxpayer. My view is, Shanique, that the government won handsomely. You could debate whether the voter turnout was low or not. The point is, the PLP is the government today. And I believe their messaging was spot on. They had a very much favorable and likable leader and Prime Minister, Philip Brave Davis. The campaign was organized. The message was good. They had qualified, quality candidates. And so with that being said, with a new government, a new mandate, it says to me that if progress is progress, which I know it's progress because that's why I voted for progress, we have to also see some changes as well. When I saw the managing director of the PMH come on the news again, giving an apology on a matter pertaining to the hospital, again, I am tired. We are tired of that, Shanique. And so what I'm saying is this government has a new mandate. And it is not only the ministers that runs the data operation of the country. We have managing directors, we have PSs, we have directors, we have undersecretaries, we have supervisors. All of these people make up the workforce in terms of a government moving an agenda. And I think in this drive, in this 5 year, 10 years, there's some people, Shanique, we can't carry along with us. I think it's time for to be gone from as managing director.
But why is it? And she is many times not shunned the media. She has spoken out. She has responded every time something has happened. Why is it that you are sort of singling her out?
No, I'm not saying because I'm consistently tired of the excuses. Bahamian people are sick and tired, Shanique, of the excuses by persons we put there to run the places. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but I understand that she would have had a surgery done or something done the other day or a year ago, and she didn't even do it at the hospital where she resides over. So if you want to be managing director of the hospital you reside over, but you don't think you're good enough to be there or to get service there, then why should I get it? If you're the managing director of the hospital and you don't get no services there, then why should you do it? My point is, Shanique, there's some people, even PSs, I don't care who they are. I don't care what school you went to. I don't care which lord's brother, what sister, when you was growing up, and who's sleeping in who's same bed. Shanique, that's not my business. My business is the Bahamian people need results.
If you are a stumbling block in 2026 and beyond in a Bahamas that needs to experience progress for every ordinary Bahamian and others who are well to do as well, that get rid of these people who are just taking up space.
Yes, Shanique, there's some people who I believe who are not in the business of your vision and your plan, right? You work at this radio station. This radio station has a mandate, and their mandate is do X, Y, and Z every day. And if you are not a part of that mandate and to care of that vision, then you shouldn't be here. There's some people, Shanique, who are deliberately will do anything in their power to dismantle your projects, your plans, and your agenda. And I'm saying today, Shanique, on this show, there are some people who, you saw what happened in Bimini with a female again, who believed that she had the authority and the right to tell a prime minister who he think he is. Well, he show you who he think he is. He's the prime minister of the country. And so that goes to persons in senior positions in this country who believe that because they some God child, they sing in the choir, they used to sleep in the same bed, I ain't none of that. I need progress.
Well, you blame sometimes the people who appoint them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, because even if you are given an opportunity, if you cannot get that going, then maybe it should be revisited. However, though, let's be fair. Let's be fair about the elephant, and I mean elephant in terms of its movement, the way it is, the way it's been for decades of PMH.
Right.
What are some of the challenges? Because apparently there was no available staff in the registration department, whatever that's called, but the registration to perform those duties available. So, Richard, how can a whole hospital run without one person there to register? And then that now is the issue with somebody quickly getting medical attention or not.
Well, I couldn't see why. I can't say people are opposing the fact that the government is proposing to construct a new hospital in this country. I can't see how people were opposing that because, again, that is being done to address the issues that the PMH have today. That's why you see clinics, I think right there on Blue Road, next to NIB, a clinic in the Coconut Grove is being constructed. You've seen an extensive and aggressive campaign in terms of renovating clinics throughout the island, throughout the country, because again, we have to understand, Janique, not only NASA proper deals takes the PMH, that is subject to your family islands. So again, the manpower is lacking, yes, but I believe administration and leadership is the problem. And what I want Dr. Davil to do today is that we have to make some people accountable. There are some people who work for government, whether they're doctor, teacher, lawyer, police officer, they believe because we need them, they will bring anything to us, or we should accept their demeanor. No, you should be accountable because at the end of the day, you're being paid, and some people are being paid handsomely. Some people who are working for government making more money than the prime minister. Some people who are working for government making more money than the minister. So my point is, if you're being handsomely paid, come on, Shanique. So all the public is asking for is results and being effective. Not everything is perfect.
Dr. Davil is one of those ministers who was given this unique opportunity to continue building on the progress he says that he has started. What does he need to do differently this term?
So I am confident that Dr. Davil will continue to do well. I'm impressed by what he's done over the last 10 years. Again, there has to be some changes, whether that's in your leadership, whether that's how whether that's operation, whether that's manpower. Again, we know healthcare is very expensive, Shanique, and we know that's a budget that exceeds some amount of money, millions of dollars throughout the year. So again, there has to be internal stuff going done. I know, as far as I'm concerned, me and many others are sick and tired of hearing the managing director come on every time, give an excuse for incompetency. We are not going to accept that. And so if the government of the Bahamas is about progress, we want people in place who will present progress and qualified, effective leadership. Bahamian people are tired. And again, don't take for granted, Shanique, the Bahamian people went and voted for this government again in large numbers. And so we have to appreciate that. But don't get confused. Because you could lose that too. When you become arrogant and you think you arrive.
Listen, as I have said, certainly what we intend to do is hold you all accountable to a greater degree, because again, the people went and decided that they're going to re-elect you, and so therefore perform, get the people's work done, make life better, especially for the ordinary, everyday, vulnerable Bahamian that absolutely needs an institution like Princess Margaret Hospital. In your view, what does a modern Princess Margaret working, fully operational PMH look like?
But I can tell you, I was there the other day. A friend of mine is currently in the hospital. I was impressed by the new A&E block. I was impressed by the way it was structured, the modernized equipment. So I'm seeing some developments in that regard. I believe that new hospital needs to come on stream. We could probably outsource that for other things. Again, we just need adequate systems working throughout the island. The clinics,
and additional manpower.
Yeah, the clinics will open up additional hours. Whether we open up another sub-clinic somewhere else, again, Shanique, healthcare is very expensive. So I'm not requiring, I'm not doing a dream in the sky. What I'm saying is, the people who comes there, come on, they required assistance and qualified assistance.
They need it, and I've said, the wellness in health and wellness must also come to the forefront, and that is for Dr. Darville. The wellness must be a key component of the Ministry of Health.
Yes.
And that way there's not such of a leaning on PMH. I know we were supposed to also discuss the state of the F&M, for example, in one sentence.
Say the F&M? You want me to say that?
Don't say
No, I can't. But oh boy, what I'll say? Just disaster. Disastrous is the word, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it
disastrous.
Yes, it is. Look it up as Richard. I look forward to discussing further with you more issues, because I hope you help me and all of us keep this administration accountable.
Yes.
And be just as tough on them as we are on anybody else.
Yes.
And any other political organization, as we help together build a Bahamas that works for everyone. That's important, right?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Shanique.
Absolutely. Yes, it's good to have you here. Of course, at the top of tonight's show, thanks so much to my Hot Topics panelists, Leslie Miller, Ellington Ferguson, Howard Johnson, and of course, in this segment, Richard Johnson. Richard, I meant to have you on longer. I will be calling you again very soon.
But I also want to thank you, too, because I can tell you recently, wherever I go, Shanique, I'm asked, I always see you on Shanique Miller's show, and I'm like, I haven't been on so long, but I want to thank you publicly, because by coming on the show, people also see me more, and and my message are better shared through you. And I want to thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, and also for the work you do. Truly, you can't avoid it, even if you want to. Your voice is all over, and you are very straight and direct, whether it's to this administration or, of course, the one that you formerly belong to. You're always calling it as you see it.
I stand too.
You stand where?
Oh, I stand with progress.
Thank you so much again, Richard Johnson. Thank you. And I want to say a huge thank you to all of you. I know somebody commented and say, Shanique, listen, you see that Bimini worker? That's what every employer, well, most employers in the Bahamas have to deal with. Attitudes just like that. And they're tired of it. Thank you for your input again tonight. Meanwhile, for the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. It's great having you along this evening. Look forward to seeing you right back here. Have a wonderful evening.